We're going to show you some of York, England's historic sites on a walking tour with our local guide, provided by Yorkwalks.
I'm the guide. I'm going to take you around some of the important parts of York. Can't do everything in the time that's there, but I'll try and give you an idea also of what it's like to live here. Living in a historic city has certain challenges to it. You will have noticed already the city streets are pedestrianised. In the 1980s, tourism took over big time. So you are effectively now our biggest income earner in the city.
You're welcome.
And what do we do with this? But we start to change the city to what we think you might like. So the streets are pedestrianised, they are made beautifully clean. But with it, the shops start to change. When we get into the city centre, look closely at the shops and ask yourself, are these for residents or are these for visitors? Because as a resident of York, when I need to do a big shop, I have to go elsewhere. I am like the residents of Paris, Florence, Venice, the other main tourist cities in Europe, and I have to do my shopping somewhere else because there is nowhere in the city centre that is of particular use for me. So let us set off now. We're going to walk along this way. What we're looking at are ruins of about 1300, 1400 in the Gothic style. In 1535, we experience in this country what's called the Reformation and the break with the Catholic Church. The monastery is left abandoned and it's turned into a ruin, and people steal the stone. Only in the 19th century in Europe do you get what we call the Romantic movement, where people start to fall in love again with things medieval. And this then becomes a romantic ruin in the park. How we interpret looking at old buildings in itself is a very interesting feature. You can't take the one simple view.
Then we continue walking from the museum garden around the corner to the Kings Manor with our local guide.
This building here is a real confection. It's called the Kings Manor, but it began life as the residence of that abbot who looked after the Abbey. With the Reformation, there came a protest. The Reformation was not liked in this area, as much economically as religiously. The breakup of the church caused real economic problems. And this protest movement forced Henry VIII to come here himself, and he came here for 11 days, and for the next 100 years, this building became something like a royal palace. Well, this building is called the King's Manor. So it's 16th century, extended by King Henry VIII. He set it up for governing the northern counties of England and as something as a royal palace. Now, when Queen Elizabeth I died in 1603, her successor was James VI of Scotland, and that meant he had to travel from Edinburgh to London, which took him over 8 days then. It's 2 hours by train from York to Edinburgh now. And he stayed here, being a royal palace. His son, Charles I, came here several times, and it's his coat of arms on the top of the door. It's now part of the University of York, but that doesn't mean to say you're excluded. You can come in here, say if you're here walking around York tomorrow and you want some change, come in here. The refectory is also open to the public. Now, the hours are strictly 9:30 to 3:30, but if you want something to eat again in a slightly unusual position, come in here. And it's part of the university. It's very nice, and it's not nearly as commercially pressured as the places in town to eat. Now, that side, as I mentioned, was all Henry VIII's side. With the growth of the royal palace, this courtyard was closed off with all this building here. The staterooms over there. This was a long gallery that stretched from one end to the other on the first floor. And that was a royal palace. King Charles I believes in the divine right of kings. He is only answerable to God. Eventually, these arguments about religion, taxation, and who controls the state, and it's as if society fell apart. You have people start arguing in the 1640s all property should be held in common. You have people in the 1640s arguing that every man should have a vote.
Then we walk a few blocks into the city center.
There is only one business in this street still functioning from the day when I first came to work here in 1980. You may have noticed a lot of the streets in York end with the word gate. Stonegate up there, Swinegate along here. It's nothing whatsoever to do with a barrier, a gate that clicks two backwards and forwards. The best way of describing it, it's from an old Anglo-Scandinavian word, gata, as in the word gait, G-A-I-T, how you move in a passageway. So it's not to do with a barrier gate, it's a passageway gate. This little street is called Grape Lane. Grape Lane as a name is a euphemism. It's got nothing to do with fruit. There used to be an O instead of an A. There are other places to see. There is Clifford's Tower. It's a Norman castle on an artificial mound. So the hill it's built on is artificial man-made. And there's a medieval castle tower on the top of it. Holy Trinity Goodrham Gate really is a little gem. Do try and get to see it if you can. And then we'll go to the Shambles.
We'll take you there and to many more parts of this historic city of York in our series of movies about this special place that was filmed during our tour of the British Isles. As we leave you with some more accordion street music by Ben Crossway, why don't you subscribe to our channel so you can be informed about our regular uploads. And take a look at our website for listings of our 1,200 travel movies.